Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Haunting of Hill House. This is episode 2 of season 1, and it's been a while. If you've been here since at least last Halloween, I reacted to the first episode of this series, just as like a one-off kind of fun little thing, because it was, you know, the Halloween season. And I thought for this year's Halloween, I'd finish it. Because I actually really liked the first episode. It was terrifying. It was the most terrifying thing I watched out of all the Halloween stuff I did last year. But people were really keen to see a bit more of it and to see me finish it. So I thought with Halloween approaching once again, and with the, is it Bly Manor? Is that the second season? It's like a new kind of thing, but same show in a way. With that coming out, potentially doing that at some point, I thought I'd finish off Haunting of Hill House and see what's going to happen. Against my better judgment, I will say, because I'm not good with scary stuff. I'm not good with jump scares, and I feel like there were quite a few of those in the first episode, so we'll see what happens. But the plan is I'll be releasing one of these reactions every day leading up to Halloween, and film them kind of as a secret surprise for people who wanted them. So if you're watching this, I managed to film them all in time, and I didn't die of fright, so that's good. We'll see how it goes. And I'm excited either way. I did rewatch my reaction to kind of get a gist of, you know, the plot and what was going on and the characters and stuff again, just to have a nice little refresher. And I'm intrigued. Obviously scared, but we'll see what happens. I have turned a few lights off. I don't have as many lights on me as I normally do when I record, just for a bit of atmosphere. But I also thought you'd appreciate being able to see me. Okay, well that's a good omen, isn't it? We had some weird noise. I think it was a helicopter. I hope it was a helicopter over the house. So yeah, that's a good start, isn't it? A terrifying noise outside the house when I'm home alone. Good, let's watch this horrible, scary program, shall we? 303. I mean, it's not 666, so maybe that's something.
I'm gonna fix her. That's what I do. How? First,
how people do that job, I don't know. Oh God, we're gonna see it.
Make sure she's clean. You know, a house is like a person's body. The walls are like bones. The pipes are veins. Needs to breathe. Needs light and flow.
Oh.
And it all works together to keep us safe and healthy inside. I don't see any of that. Let me hear you say it.
Porch light means it's time to come home.
Okay, go on.
Is that gonna come back in a spooky way?
I appreciate your advice. I mean,
don't wave. What a lovely picture. Going in there would be a grave mistake. Aww.
Hi, you're just the cutest.
No, don't do that.
Built it around this. You know what that is?
A mask?
Yep.
The devil.
Halloween mask.
Decorate it however you want.
I don't want to decorate. I just want to be Daredevil.
It's more fun when you get to be creative instead of just buying what every other kid buys.
Mom.
Daredevil's great.
You're killing me.
There's no such thing as ghosts, and you know that. Go upstairs. We're working. Watch out for the...
Gonna eat those words. Oopsie. What? I mean, she has a shelf full of urns. What is she expecting? I know it's like a funeral place, but come on.
I'm sorry, did you say 6,000 a month? That's right.
Whoa.
And
It's the scariest thing in the show so far.
Insurance.
What?
Urine analysis. First time, huh? Did you like horseback riding?
Urine analysis?
You can do this.
Thanks.
Oh man. It's sad because, you know, he goes off the wagon again.
There's 5 of them like
Some of these transitions are really clever.
That one's me.
What was that?
Yeah. I bet they all repressed the shit out of this.
It's over now, right?
I mean...
Thanks.
Ah!
She is gone.
I told you. I told you she was in trouble. I told you to find her. I told you.
I gotta go.
Damn, Stephen. Phew. Shirley seems to be getting a lot of focus in this episode, so I'm wondering if like every episode focuses on a different person, which I think is a good strategy. So I feel like the first episode focused on Stephen a lot. Oh no. Oh, that's horrible.
Wake up.
Oh no. Oh.
Do you want to say something about her?
Oh.
Should I?
You could.
People usually do. It's called a eulogy.
What do I say?
Oh god.
It's up to you. Some people say goodbye.
Is she gonna have to give a eulogy about
You could tell a
her
story.
sister?
We turn into stories. And every time someone tells one of those stories, it's like we're still here. For them.
Stories make us fly.
Stories in the end. I'll try.
Just make it a good one.
She never heard a single thing in her whole life, and not many people can say that.
Oh.
That's perfect, sweetie.
Her lips are moving. Hey, it's okay.
Wait a second.
Hey, wait a little kidding. It's
Oh, I don't like this, I don't like this. Oh. What? Nah, this is fucked up. This...
But I'm not leaving her in a freezer until Luke gets his shit together. She'll
Oh
be
my
there forever.
god, this family, man.
I gotta get to work.
Cheryl.
I mean, they all got fucked up as kids with all these bloody ghosts and bugs and cats and...
This is a good thing. You're a good boy.
So Mouse starts moving, though.
Yes.
Get out.
She's just a little scared, I think. No, that's okay. Here, come with me.
Oh, and she ends up doing the same thing. Is this the mum's funeral? Oh, it is. She dies. Oh. I don't think I could do it either.
Yeah, fix her.
I think you all need fixing, by the sounds of it.
I'm sorry. I just can't. Sure.
I think that's fair. That would take a lot of strength, I'll give her that. But I don't think she should be doing it. Oh my god.
Are they still sleeping?
Oh no. Whoa! Ah!
Care how you get here? Kittens aren't supposed to be without their mommies. And no matter how much you love them, you're not their mommy. And they're
Oh, and the kids are like the kittens without their mum.
they're supposed to.
Because she dies.
Why would you give away the last one, the only one left? Just quiet. It's not fair. It's not.
Oh.
Stop it.
Oh god.
It's been a minute since you had one of your color storms.
Would you have said you had to go to the woods and put this sick little kitten out of its misery?
Yeah, I figured they killed it.
Of course not.
Her first real brush with death, and now she's... And then I have one chance to pull it back, and I lie to her face and lock up with a migraine.
This was not our
That's not your
finest
fault.
hour, no doubt.
I'm sure she won't be emotionally scarred by any more death. Oh, that's pleasant. Okay.
Where is she now?
I don't know, Allie. Nobody knows.
Haunting Stephen.
I think, maybe. Go pick your favorite picture of Auntie Now from one of the albums. I can hang it at the funeral. Okay?
Oh. He's crazy how there's like so much sense of melancholy to this whole thing, but it's also really enjoyable to watch. It's a very weird thing.
I'm so excited.
You're gonna look amazing.
The way they're shooting. Oh, that's mean. Doing the makeup.
If you make a run for it, I'll keep the car running, okay?
Okay.
They really do feel like a family
Lucky for
as
us,
well.
famous author. You're high.
No, I'm not.
So you got the day pass? Here's 100. You can shoot up the rest. I don't care. This is the last I ever give you.
Oh man. Oh. I mean, I couldn't even imagine how hard that would be. Oh no. No! No, I'm doing the mouth thing! No! Oh, the way they frame things is so good. You don't know if they're going to do a jump scare with it or not.
You fixed her.
No, that's what I do.
It kind of inspires her to do it. What the? Oh! Oh! No, no, no! She's got the eyes like the cat had. In the box. That's freaked her out earlier when someone gave her something like that. Oh, it's the box they buried the cat in. Okay, that was a really good episode. I loved it. I have that feeling that I'm really, really, really gonna love this show. It's a very, very unique experience watching it. I'm not sure I've ever quite felt a way watching a show before like I have with this so far. It's just that sense of dread and panic and fear and sadness. I felt like crying quite a few times during this with the whole like kitten situation when Shirley was like, you know, cleaning up the body and stuff. She had a bit of a moment where she was like about to break down when she told her kids to find their favourite picture of Nell. Is it Nell? Yeah. There's some really like moments in there, and when in the flashbacks when they were burying the kitten the first time around, all of that stuff, I was kind of like, oh, this is choking me up a bit. And at the same time, I'm really intrigued by it, and really enjoying it, and just enjoying like these characters and the setup for whatever the hell is happening, ghosts and stuff. And that's obviously something they're going to be exploring a lot more of, I imagine, over the next 8 episodes. But so far, I'm really liking what seems to be their format, at least for the time being. So I think every episode may have like a lot of focus given to a particular character, a particular maybe sibling in the family. Because I feel like Stephen got a lot in episode 1, and this episode was very much about Shirley. I think she was kind of the start of the episode, and it, you know, a lot of the flashbacks centered around her and informed us a lot about her past, and you know, the certain things that she was really haunted by when she was younger, and how those things impacted her in her life and allowed her to do the career that she kind of has. So I feel like maybe they're going to continue to do that throughout the next few episodes until everyone's kind of got it covered, because I feel like even if they did do that, there would still be a good few episodes left over to, you know, focus on everyone and wrap up the story or whatever it is they're kind of going for with this. But I'm fascinated on a bit more, and you know, I'm still in the stage where I'm kind of getting a sense of like the names of certain characters and stuff, but I don't really like properly know them yet. you know, I mean, we didn't even see the older version of the dad in this episode, for example. So, and is it Theo? I think Theo. We didn't see much of her either. We didn't get a whole lot of Stephen also in this episode, but you know, he got a lot in the last one, so that kind of makes sense. So I'm still kind of wrapping my head around all the different characters, and you know, Luke hasn't had that much to do either. But nonetheless, we did get a bit of him in this one and a bit of stuff with him, and I think that's going to kind of be a big thing going forward too. So I feel like if they continue to do this with all these episodes and focus on a different person every time, I could really get a good sense of all the characters by the end of the show. Because you know, it's The Haunting of Bly Manor is the next season. I believe it's maybe these guys are in it as well, but I feel like a lot of it is focused on a new set of characters. I feel like it's a different story. So I do feel like this is a fairly self-contained thing. So I'm assuming they have like this whole entire arc across the course of this season, these 10 episodes. So, you know, I'd like to think by the end of this I would have a good idea of who all these characters are and stuff like that. So I'm getting there, I feel like. And if every character is done justice in the way I think Shirley's character was done justice in this episode, then I think they'll absolutely succeed in that. But I have that feeling that I'm really going to like what they're doing here, because I think this is very cleverly written, very well edited and put together as well. I think it's just some of those shots where they like linger on like certain objects or faces or whatever for just that bit longer than you'd normally expect from most shows. You're kind of like, okay, should we be focusing on that? Is that a creepy thing? Is it not? Is that just them tricking us? And sometimes it just doesn't pan out and it's nothing like creepy or whatever. But sometimes it is a bit more meaningful. Because, you know, they lingered on the model of the house, I think, in The Office for a bit longer. And then at the end of the episode, we got that bit with the flashing lights there. So you're like, oh, that could potentially be a thing. And a lot of the foreshadowing of seeing Shirley really spooked by that box that the guy brought in with his mother's jewellery in. And then we see it kind of resembled a bit of what I think they buried the first kitten in, and what the like mum ghost thing had at the end, what she was holding at the end there. So some really great stuff like that, and the transitions between like the different time periods are done so well. You know, like with Shirley opening the fridge and there's the milk there, and then it cuts to younger Shirley feeding the milk to the kittens. There's just some really neat transitions, and it just flows so well, but you still know like, okay, we're in the past now, blah blah blah, and you don't necessarily always need like the captions to follow that story, which I think is really cool. So I'm loving all of that, and I did enjoy focus on Shirley, both in the past and present. Her finding out about Nell's death in this one and insisting she be the one to fix her sister, and I like her kind of fixation on that when in not like the furthest flashbacks, but like the flashbacks to Nell's wedding day, when Luke showed up trying to be there, but he's like high as a kite or whatever, and she turned him away. You know, that's kind of like, well, you do your own thing. I'm not giving you any more money. That's it. So in a way, she's not really fixing Luke anymore. She's kind of given up on doing that. She's like, I'm not paying for any more, you know, places for you to go to, institutions, stuff like that, which she was already forking out a lot of money for, but it wasn't working. So she wasn't fixing her brother in that sense, even though she was trying to. But now she's insisting to try and fix her sister, and make her, you know, look nice again. And, you know, she did a damn good job, I would say. Like, how people can do that job, I have the utmost respect for them. Because I don't know if I could just have that be how I make a living. Like, it's that mindset you must have. I think you have to be really strong and really strong-minded to do that. And especially with this, when it was her own sister, but she was so kind of insistent that she needed to be the one to do it. And I'm glad she had that little brief moment where she allowed herself to break down a tiny bit, but then it all started getting all weird and creepy, and the bug coming out of the mouth just like it did with the kitten, which is a very mean trick. And then obviously her mum, the ghost of her mum, I assume, was haunting her, and how in the flashbacks when her mum died and she was scared of looking in the open casket at her, but then she saw that, oh, she's been fixed, and that was probably why she ended up doing that job. She was very fixated on that, and that's probably what got her through that funeral, was actually seeing, oh wow, you know, they've actually done a really good job with making Mum look nice there and fixing her, and she provides that to other people. And we've seen that, she can be very generous with money when she's like putting £6,000 towards Luke's treatment, and obviously it seemed Stephen couldn't afford it at the time, so she was like, you just pay me back when you're famous. And then even in the present day, she wasn't necessarily charging everyone the rates she actually should, like special cases, even though it was the majority of their clients. So it's not like she's necessarily tight with money or anything. She's actually quite generous about it. So I'd like to see the origins of all that coming about. I thought that was very clever. But the fact that she's still kind of haunted by some of these events in later life, it's a really interesting kind of concept. And I feel like we're going to slowly explore everyone's traumas that they went through in this house, because it's clearly all affected them in different ways. And, I think it led Nell to kill herself as well, because she never quite got over it. I imagine, that's kind of what got Luke into drugs in the first place, maybe, is like escapism from all of these kind of fantasies, to maybe get rid of them. Maybe drugs kind of helps with that, and that's why he keeps going back for more, because he, if he's clean, maybe he can't cope with, the really real visions and memories, and if he can get rid of them all and like drown them out with drugs, that's why he kind of keeps falling back on them, which is very sad, but it's interesting that they could maybe explain that a bit further. And yeah, Shirley kind of has this really twisted view of death from what happened with the kittens, and then losing her mum as well, which I imagine they're going to delve into a bit more of why that happened. And she was talking about like these colour bursts or something, like colour headaches, something like that. So I imagine the house is maybe influencing her in some way, because the dad seems unbothered by anything. Like the kids can hear the dogs. I don't think he could hear the dogs. He couldn't hear the banging on the walls. So I feel like maybe the dad's not really being that affected as other people are. So I imagine maybe they're going to explore like why some people are affected more by the hauntings and why some people aren't necessarily as much. There's probably some reasons for that, which could be interesting. But yeah, I really enjoyed seeing Shirley's twisted view on death and how many different paths that could have gone down, and she could actually dealt with it in a lot healthier way. But now, how she got through that in her mum's funeral, with that guy kind of showing her that he fixed her, she became fixated on that, and that's how she kind of dealt with it, and that's where she took the rest of her life, going down that path to do a similar kind of thing, like fixing and preparing dead bodies for funerals. Really interesting idea, and I love how they kind of explored that, and you got a really nice insight into Shirley as a character. She does seem very headstrong, and I imagine Nell, if she knew that Luke had been at her wedding, she'd have been like, no, Luke should be here, like, since he's here, let's have him be here. But I think Shirley's one of the older ones. I think she's like one of the oldest of the siblings. She definitely feels that way anyway. She definitely seems to be more like the take charge one. She kind of made that decision. Whether or not that's the right move to turn Luke away, I don't know. But there was a chance, Luke, with all under the influence and everything, he could have completely ruined the day for people, and it's supposed to be the best day of Nell's life. So it's interesting. That transition also was very mean to Shirley putting the makeup on Nell's body and then it cutting back to her doing her makeup on her wedding day. Like, just those cuts and those transitions are heartbreaking at times, but really, really well done as well. And yeah, exactly what's going on with the house, I have no idea yet, but creepy shit, basically. I feel like a lot of it's going to come down into that room that they can't unlock, they can't get into. So I believe in the first episode they were investigating that. The two girls were listening outside of it, and then they left, and I think you could kind of see footsteps walking underneath. You could kind of see there was something in there walking around in that room. So maybe that's the source of everything, and the fact they can't get into there is kind of suspicious. So we'll see what happens with all of that, I guess. The whole thing with the kittens was morbid as hell, but I loved the scene when they buried it and what Shirley was saying about that, and how that bug coming out of the mouth kind of linked back to the ghost of the mum, and it seems like Shirley views all this, not the ghost of the mum, Nell's body even. It just kind of shows, I think, that Shirley does see every death in a similar kind of way and similar circumstances, which isn't obviously necessarily the case, because we don't know what happened. I don't think we know exactly how the mum died yet, and we know that Nell, seemingly killed herself. So there's a lot of mystery still to solve there. But yeah, that whole scene where the mum, I don't know the mum's name, but I'm sure I'll pick it up at some point. I imagine they've said it, but I haven't picked up on it. She was kind of saying, about stories and giving different speeches and stuff like that. Give a eulogy, and then it cuts to like the funeral there with the mum, and at some point, they're preparing for Nell's funeral now. So maybe that's going to link back to Shirley giving a eulogy, because she seems to be taking charge of all the arrangements, so maybe she'd be the one to say something or whatever. So maybe we'll get that at some point. But either way, I'm really enjoying how these timelines are kind of informing the present day events and revealing more about the characters in different ways. And while these people are clearly still being haunted by what happened to them in the house all those years ago, whether or not they remember all of it, I feel like a lot of them has kind of repressed exactly what went down, because it must have been so traumatic, especially when you're kids. But also, there's stuff going on with them in present day as well. So it's not quite done. They're still kind of battling those demons. And I'm really fascinated to see where they go with all that as a story. But yeah, we're getting a bit more of seeing how troubled Luke is, and his treatments just aren't working for his addiction. And we even saw in the last episode, when he was trying to rob Stephen's place, and ended up taking money there and everything. So that's going to be an ongoing arc for him, I imagine, and trying to get him clean potentially. And yeah, I really enjoyed the focus on Shirley as well, and just getting a good understanding of her. And I hope they kind of definitely do similar things for the rest of the characters. And how Shirley was kind of helping Max with his grandmother's passing away and talking about the open casket and stuff like that. And that was kind of a direct parallel to what she herself went through with that other guy when her mum died. That was a really nice insight into Shirley's character. So yeah, some really creepy moments, some really cool visuals. And yeah, it's just that awful sense of like, I can't watch this, it's just so uncomfortable, and it's just so awful and morbid and melancholy, but at the same time I'm like, I'm really, really enjoying this. It's a very odd thing and sensation feeling watching it, and I'm only a fifth of the way through, so there's a lot more to come, a lot more scares I imagine, but I am intrigued by exactly everything that went down in the past, how that's going to continue to inform the present for all these characters, and where they're going to go with all these separate things, and if they continue to focus on singular characters dominating an episode at a time, who's going to be next to get that kind of treatment, I don't know. But yeah, really loved this a lot. I'm fascinated to see where they're going to take it, and yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but I already can tell I think I'm really, really, really going to love this, so I can't wait for the other 8 episodes to see what's going to happen. But they'll be coming over the next week or so, hopefully, if all gone to plan and I've actually managed to film all these in time. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I loved this episode. We're off to quite the start with these first 2, so I'm really excited to finish this off. And yeah, until my next reaction, thanks for watching.